On this episode of the Old Radio Shop, we have an Emerson curved cabinet. That's a little bit of issues with the cabinet, but we're probably just going to leave it alone so as not to create more issues with it. It's also missing a dial cover, which was probably glass. It probably got busted out at some point in time. Probably going to leave that alone as well, just because. And we're going to dig into it. I'm not sure exactly what model this is, but I'll look it up once I get the chassis pulled. The only thing it has on it is a serial number, but that is not the model number. So, here we go. Join us on this episode of the Old Radio Shop. If we look at the back, it has a nice Utah speaker. The cord, of course, has been cut, which is probably a good idea in the condition that the cord was in. That looks like a replacement tube. All the other tubes look to be intact. A little dusty. And we'll get into it here. At least the speaker comes unplugged on this one, unlike some other models I've worked on. This appears to be an antenna wire somebody shoved way up in here in the front. Got it tangled around everything. Yep, little antenna wire on its own little antenna wire cord. Somebody taped it to it, taped it in, and this is probably the ground wire, antenna wire and ground wire. Only 3 bolts are holding in the bottom, so it's supposed to be 4, but 1 is missing. This is probably a replacement speaker in here, this Utah speaker, because of the way things are mounted, and this output transformer kind of hangs in the air here a little bit. So my guess is a replacement speaker from it. A little bit of pencil written here. It says MC CAN, looks like, but I'm not sure what that stands for. Could have been a previous owner. Could have been a technician that worked on it. Little small 6-tube set. There it is. The guts. We'll take the cabinet and set it to the side. Turn the chassis over and take a look. This had replacement capacitors in the past, but I'm sure the replacement capacitors now need replacement, because all wax capacitors tend to be, of this age, tend to be bad. Looks like it has 2 electrolytic capacitors. One is oozing crud, and the other one is not, but still, the little rubber vent seal on the bottom of it starting to come up. So those definitely get replaced because they're bad as well. Here's a part that is not hooked to anything. It is fallen out. It's a .01, looks like. Strange. Looks like it was between ground and the switch, maybe. We'll have to see if we can locate a schematic for this, since I'm not sure exactly what model this is. We'll have to go digging. The dial string and or dial belt, not sure exactly what it had. Looks like it had a dial belt because it has a pulley instead of a dial string, because it almost looks like it is a geared set, almost like a Zenith, but not quite. Needs a little cleanup. Alright, let's dig into it. Alright, looking in the chassis of this Emerson, we believe it is an AR-173. We have replaced all the paper caps, have not replaced the electrolytics yet. The one paper cap that came loose, that fell out, was a .01 from the power side of the switch. It was actually on the switch side to ground. And then we have 2 electrolytics to go, and we have to replace the wonderful world of crappy cords. And
I save an incredible amount of money. Call Optima text later. Don't trust anybody else. Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928.
Because it makes it easy to splurge this holiday season. A $6,000.
So on initial power up, it does work, but it has some issues. Has some issues with volume control. Tuning capacitors dirty. We're going to have to do a little cleaning, a little checking, and we're going to see what else is wrong with it. But on initial power up, no smoke, no fumes, no flames. Repaired tube is working, and we're off to see what's wrong with it. Stay tuned for more. Emerson AR-173 had a rubber, wasn't necessarily a rubber dowel belt, but that's what I've replaced it with. I got some rubber gasket material, rubber O-ring, shortened it, made it fit in there. Had to trim it down just a little bit to make my tuner work. And it works. So we'll get it all put back together here after we test some more. Have a little bit of trouble with the volume control, but we're going to test that. I've took it apart, I cleaned it, I put it back together, then I rebuilt this dowel belt, and away we go.
Knocking on my door to knock them out. I said, let's wait. 30 days later, they had the money. They rehabbed the hotel. Hotel then paid $500,000 in royalty plus for the rest of the term, and it helped them. So after that, you know, they were in the system. And so that's what you have to think about. And so, but the further away you are, the ease of it is that you forget the customers. You see it all the time in every business.
Thoughts turn this time of year to giving. Salvation. Some of these other countries. One of those countries is Israel. They're just nuts over COVID in Israel. They're weighing whether to approve giving people a 4th vaccine dose to try to stop Omicron. Okay, this is crazy talk. A 4th vaccine dose. The only reason.
There have been many adaptations of, probably more adaptations of A Christmas Carol.
There's even one with Mickey Mouse.
So that's the Emerson AR-173. I do have a replacement dial cover on order, but I thought I'd go ahead and wrap this up and show it to you. Performs really well with just this short antenna wire here. That can be unwrapped and run out over a pretty long distance. But even it being just as short as it is working really well. So we'll see you next time on the Old Radio Shop.